One day, you will wake up for the last time, and you will not know it. You're probably doing just fine right now. Your body is warm and comfortable beneath your sheets. The morning stretches out before you, full of possibility and potential. But what if that changes? What if today were your last chance to do something that matters? Well, it might be. You don't know that, do you? And that idea, the stark, brutal reality of our own mortality, that's what we're going to start with today. Because the truth is that one day you will die, and that day could be today. So the question is, what are you doing here right now? Why aren't you throwing open the window and embracing the world? That's what Marcus Aurelius wanted to remind himself every morning. He would think to himself, you could have been wiped out by an earthquake or a tsunami or a fire last night. But here you are, alive, able to experience another day. And so he would rise up and greet the sun. Now, I don't expect you to run around naked in the street, or to shout or dance or stomp your feet. In fact, I think a more moderate approach is better. Simply sit still for a moment and breathe, allowing the full weight of this incredible gift called life to settle upon you. This is a trick that the Stoics used to get themselves to seize the day. They knew that no matter how much money they had, no matter how famous they were, no matter how invincible they felt, there was absolutely nothing they could do to get more time. There was only one thing to do with the time they had left, and that was to spend it wisely. In fact, Marcus Aurelius wrote this down in his journal. You could reflect that all the things you do and say are a result of the choices that you've made in your past. Some of them good, some of them bad. Recognize that you are where you are today because of what you did yesterday. And you will be somewhere else tomorrow as a result of what you do today. In other words, everything has consequences, but those consequences are never greater than the principles you stand for. Never violate your principles, he says, even in small things, because everything you do and say shapes who you are. Everything you do and say is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Seneca writes about this too. He says, we are not in danger of being too good, but in danger of being too self-indulgent. We sin not by excessive ambition, but by excess of ease. So don't be afraid of a challenge. Don't be afraid of hard work. That's how you build character. That's how you become your best self. Not by lounging around all day doing nothing. And that leads us to our next point. If you want to achieve something great, then stop constantly distracting yourself. One of the greatest enemies of productivity, of getting things done, is distraction. This is the age of distraction, the age of social media and short-form content. It is nearly impossible to go 5 minutes without seeing an enticing notification pop up on your phone. Even if you try to resist, if you lock your phone away in another room, well, there's always the television. There's the radio. There's your computer. There are endless ways to distract ourselves from our work and our responsibilities. But Marcus Aurelius says, the secret to living is listening when you're meant to be silent and being silent when you're meant to speak. In other words, sometimes the most productive thing you can do is simply shut up and listen. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is close your eyes and focus on the task at hand. Stop letting meaningless distractions pull you away from what matters. If you want to make progress, if you want to achieve something great, then you must first learn to be alone with yourself, which is easier said than done. Seneca once wrote to his friend Lucilius, what a strange thing it is that while we enjoy the present moment, we are lamenting the fact that we are not enjoying it fully, complaining that it is incomplete, that it is passing too quickly, that it cannot last. You see, we're incapable of appreciating what we already have. Instead, we worry about the future. We complain about the past. We whine about our fate. But if you really want to change your life, if you want to be happy, then you need to take responsibility for the way you live. You need to stop wasting time. You need to stop distracting yourself. And you need to put in the effort. As Epictetus famously said, it is not events that upset us, but our judgments about those events. So don't blame the world for your problems. Blame yourself. You're the one who chooses to complain. You're the one who chooses to procrastinate. You're the one who chooses to chase meaningless distractions. So take responsibility for your choices and stop blaming the world for your problems. Now, obviously, there are times to be outraged, times to protest, times to demand change. But those moments are rare and far between. Most of the time, our outrage is misplaced. Our anger is misdirected. So look within yourself for the real problem, because that's where it always begins. And that leads us to our next point. Stop comparing yourself to others. There is no point in doing this. We are all different. We all have different skills, different backgrounds, different circumstances. You can't possibly hope to compare yourself to everyone else and come out on top. No one ever became successful by trying to be like everyone else. No one ever became wealthy by following the crowd. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, each of us is just a fleeting visitor here, and our stay is brief. As long as you hold this belief, you won't fear the opinions of others, for you will realize that they are just as confused and lost as you are. And the more you think about it, the more you realize that these people, the ones you're trying so hard to impress, they're all fools. They're no better than you. They're no wiser than you. They're just as lost as you are. So why are you subjecting yourself to their ignorant opinions? Another thing you should stop doing is worrying about what other people think. When you finally realize that other people's opinions are none of your business, then you will finally be free. That's what Marcus Aurelius realized. And that's why he stopped caring about what other people thought. You see, Marcus Aurelius wasn't born fearless. He was born insecure. He was born anxious. He was born needing other people's approval. But as he grew older, as he grappled with the challenges of running the Roman Empire, he learned something profound. He learned that other people's opinions are none of your business. If you want to truly live according to nature, he wrote, then you must accept what's given, what's up to the gods, and what's up to you. And above all, you must stop resisting the inevitable. We resist too much. We fight against the natural order of things. We struggle to control everything that happens to us. And the truth is that this is what causes our suffering. As Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoics who ever lived, once said, "He who has learned this has learned the secret of life." Another thing you should stop doing is allowing others to control your emotions. This is one of the most important lessons in the Stoic philosophy, and yet it's rarely taught. When you allow other people to control your emotions, you are handing them the reins to your life. You are allowing them to dictate how you feel, and no one should have that power over you, not even yourself. As Seneca writes, no one can harm you without your consent. So the key is to find the source of your suffering and remove it. Ask yourself, why am I allowing this person to upset me? Why am I allowing this situation to bother me? Because it's not about them. It's about you. You are the one who chooses to be upset. You are the one who chooses to suffer. And finally, the last thing you should stop doing is overthinking everything. We overthink everything. We think about the past. We worry about the future. We dwell on the what-ifs and the maybes. But the truth is that overthinking does not solve any problems. In fact, it creates new ones. It keeps us awake at night. It steals our joy. It destroys our relationships. It ruins our lives. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, don't give in to your emotions. They're just chemical reactions. Don't let them control you. The antidote to overthinking is action. Do something. Anything. Get outside. Talk to someone. Make a plan. Take a walk. Whatever you do, just stop thinking about it. And that brings us back to where we started. One day you will wake up for the last time, and you will not know it. So stop wasting time. Stop distracting yourself. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop worrying about what other people think. Stop allowing others to control your emotions. And stop overthinking everything. Thank you for watching.